Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Spiritual Sojourn. So glad you could join us today. Hey, Tom, how's it going?
It's going well, Laurie. I see we have a guest today.
We do. It is my dear friend Amber, and she is here to talk about her amazing gifts. So, Amber, tell us all about your gifts. When did you first know you had them?
Well, I mean, as far back as I can remember is when I started remembering kind of what I was doing. So I had dreams. It started with nightmares, honestly. It was night terrors when I was about 5. That's my earliest memory of kind of getting feelings that didn't belong to me or getting memories that didn't belong to me. And so it expressed itself through night terrors. And I really had a hard time sleeping without a light on. And I do remember kind of seeing spirits at that point too. But again, I was 5. I didn't really understand what was happening. I also grew up in a house, like I was born an empath, is what I say, but my environment allowed me to develop those skills. So I lived in a household that was loving, but we also had a Vietnam veteran in the house. And so a lot of my behavior was checked by taking the temperature of the house. So that I think really built my empathic skills and the ability to kind of read the room, basically. And then that kind of carried on throughout my life. A lot of the times I would talk to my friends and they would say, you know what's going on without me having to say anything. And of course, none of this registered really. It was just kind of something that I did, and I knew it was part of who I was, but I didn't necessarily work on it or consider it a skill or something that I could use with others until 2018. I was just thinking about it this morning and going back in that timeline, that doesn't feel like that long ago in terms of sharing that information about myself, but I didn't tell anybody until about 2018. And then from then on, it was kind of a spiritual awakening for myself in terms of really understanding what speaking that truth meant to me, and how I could help others. And by sharing my story, how others could kind of step into their power also. And it has completely transformed who I am as a person, uh, and and what I do and the actions that I take. My life is a 180 from what it was even in 2018. And some of it was hard and a lot of it is blessings, but I don't see how I could be in this very moment on my path without going through all of that also. So the gist of it is, I've had the gift since I was born, but now I call myself an intuitive energy channel, because when I check into somebody's energy field, I can feel their emotions. I can feel what's going on with them. I can feel people that have crossed over that want to speak to them. I can feel their guides. I can feel their counsel. Like, it just kind of opens up into this expansion. So it's a
So,
really
go ahead.
good.
I just had a question. What's it like for you when you are out in public? Is there a way you can, I guess, shut it off or filter it so that you're not just bombarded by all this information when you walk into the grocery store every week?
I'm going to say yes and no to that. So I don't actively shield. I don't want to say I can't, because I think at some point I do, without knowing it, to kind of protect myself.
Mhm.
But it's just a feeling. Like, even if I were to shut off being able to directly connect with somebody that's standing next to me that I don't know, I can still feel their energy. And so it's not necessarily something I can shut off, but it is something that I try to put my blinders on, in terms of not being overwhelmed in public. Lately, I've been working on my severe sense of justice and the fact that, people do a lot of things that are a bit annoying. And so I've created this phrase that really helps me kind of release their energy back to them, is that I send you love and the ability to see how your actions are affecting others, and just leave it at that.
Wow. So where are your skills today, Amber? What are you using them for in the present?
So I do channel readings, which is so much fun because I love all the different types of people that I meet and who comes through. I would say that's number one on the list. I do have a sound bed. So for me, my studies in the last probably 2 years have been that energy and how I can work with it better. Because I know I have this gift, but it's not necessarily something that I've actually studied outside of myself. And so I took some classes and got sound certified last year. And then I purchased a sound bed. And basically what that is it's you put these noise canceling headphones on and you lay on this bed that has 4 subwoofers in it, and it vibrates to the frequency of the music that you're listening to. And so you can really pinpoint in your body where to move that energy. And for me, that was huge because I am not big on talking about my feelings. And so I need that physical expression to kind of move that energy out of my body and kind of express that. So that's why I got it. I love it. It's a transformative experience. I'm a big sound wave person, like the gong baths and stuff like that. It just has the ability to move what you need to move through you. And it's super healing.
Now, I'm a musician and I have some sound equipment, and let's just say I have a couple of big subwoofers, but I get the feeling if I tried to do that on my own, it might end in disaster. So tell me how you kind of control that environment to make it into a healing environment.
Yeah, so there's specific hertz that you can pinpoint. So a lot of the YouTube videos that are like binaural beats, or even those hertz that are specified, those would be a good starting point because they're tuned to that frequency. I would say that you can do that with your subwoofers at home, and you can tell by the hertz that it's emitting when it feels good and when it doesn't. And so there are frequencies that will kind of throw you into chaos, but you can feel that almost immediately, like you don't like it, and nobody wants to listen to it. And so if you adjust it a little bit, you can tune yourself. You just have to really be in tune with what you're feeling.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. And where could like if I come to visit you, you'll do that automatically. Is there a place where you learned that? I mean, did you learn,
So
did
I
it come
took
to
that.
you? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, did you learn it or did it come completely naturally to you? And how?
So yeah, because I wanted to work with other people, I did get certified because I don't want to do any kind of damage to anybody. So I did learn that you just could take a class. I think I took mine online at a university. It took me about, I don't know, 90 days to finish. It's really simple and easy to kind of learn what all those hertz mean and the history of it. But for me, it's more of a conversation with you on what you want to work on, or if you're struggling in a certain area, or if you're having even kind of like pain points that are coming up physically for you. We have that conversation, and then I match the music that is played to what you want to work on.
Wow. Love it.
It is an amazing experience. So I would have to say it really
Yeah.
was. I'm not sure what hertz was going, but I know I left the planet somewhere.
Yeah, I don't recall what I played for you, but
I don't
that
remember. It's
doesn't
been a
surprise
while.
me.
Yeah.
So now we were talking about actual songs that you could hear on the radio, or is it a different type of music?
It is a different type of music. I don't generally use music that has any words to it. I feel like it's really distracting. So these are all acoustical music that's played, and then the hertz kind of goes through, not necessarily with the bass line. It's more, it more moves with the music is the best way I can express it, is that when there are higher points or more active points in the music, there's more vibration. And when it's more calm, the vibration kind of eases. So it's not just immediate full blast the entire time. It moves with the music.
So if you're having a particularly chaotic day, this would be the sort of thing that would realign you and kind of calm you down and bring you back to center.
Yeah. Or if you're struggling with making a decision, they have something for that, for grounding. I listen to something called the Light Warrior, and it is drum beats. So it's very primal drumming. And for me, that gets me connected to the oldest energy that I have within myself. And it's very powerful for me. It's very, It's very grounding. It's very empowering. And so I listen to that to kind of step back into my queen energy, we'll call it that.
Or your energy, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone comes to you and you're sitting there and they're asking you for a reading, what's the first thing that happens for you? Is it that you're getting a sense immediately of their energy as they sit down, kind of reading it, feeling it, getting information, or do you simply wait for their question if they have one?
Yeah, so when somebody sits down in front of me, or even when I come in contact with someone, I can feel kind of their frequency. The way I explain it is everybody has kind of a radio station. And so when you get close to me, I can kind of check into that radio station. Now, the amount of information that I can receive from that radio station is pretty extensive. And so I always ask permission to check into that. And I only go so far because I don't need to live your life, in the next 10 seconds to understand what you need in the day. And so I limit myself to, when I ask him, may I check into your frequency? When I check into them, it's more of feeling where they are at in their vibration, and then allowing their guides and stuff to step forward. So, and I'll say right now, because this aura colors is a new trick. So as my connection kind of grows and as I heal myself, it's expanding for me. And so recently, when I check into somebody's energy, I can see their general aura color and kind of how it's moving. And then based off of that, their counsel can step forward, but that's when they're dealing with big things. Their guides will step forward. Oftentimes in my mind's eye, I see their guides sitting around a campfire, like just a bonfire. And for me, that's grounding into what they're wanting to communicate. And then I can kind of describe them a little bit if they want to let me see that. And then often, if the person doesn't have a question, I'll just kind of go with what comes through first. I feel like you are maybe going through something in, making a decision about school. Like it feels like you have this real big passion for art, but you are also living up to this expectation of your family to do this, and this is not what you want to do. And like you're trying to figure out how to find your voice. And so it's just kind of an open conversation. Usually that leads to more questions. A lot of times when people say, I just want to see what comes through, it pegs immediately what they want to talk about. If somebody that has crossed over comes directly forward, oftentimes they are actually working with them on that issue, or they have something to do with it. Now, they don't necessarily step forward right away, but if they want to speak with somebody, I can kind of call them forward. And so that person, if they're strong enough, can step forward on their own, or they will step forward with somebody that had been crossed over or somebody that they were very close to or connected with. And it's almost like the buddy system. So if someone isn't quite strong enough to step forward on their own, they'll kind of be escorted.
Okay.
Are you seeing or hearing or all of the above? You have several clairs, it sounds.
Yeah, it's kind of all of the above. And it just depends on what resonates with the person. So it's not, if I get confused, this is the funniest part. If I get confused, they will speak to me in movies. So they will reference a specific part of a movie so that I understand what they're saying, if I'm not getting it. But most of the time it's, I smell cigarettes in this specific cologne, or I see this man and he's got a long beard and wears a lot of flannel, it looks like, or just, and it's something that will resonate with that person that I am reading for. So it could be smell, it could be sight, it could be, I could hear them. I had somebody sing to me once from the other side and made the joke of saying, just tell them, tell them that old Blue Eyes visited. And I was like, I'm sorry, are you Frank Sinatra? And it wasn't, but he was a handsome man, had striking blue eyes, and looked a little bit like Frank Sinatra. And so I was like, That's not funny. But that other person was laughing hysterically because it was exactly how they would have come through, making jokes and singing and, and he did have striking blue eyes. She showed me a picture. It was amazing.
Well,
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So say a little more about seeing auras. What is that like?
So, it's a little intense sometimes only because you wear how you're feeling as a robe, basically. So it changes. I mean, it's never the same. Even mine is never the same when I actually get those aura pictures done.
Right.
I would say 80% of the time it is one color that I channel the response of what it means, because I have zero knowledge of aura colors, and also they're the color that they're most drawn to. So it just kind of morphs into this really cool piece of information for them.
So can you see auras just in general or only when you're in that place of doing readings? Like, could you tell us what Tom's aura looks like today?
If he gives me permission to check in with him, sure.
sure. Please do.
You can check mine too. I just thought I'd throw him out there first.
Yeah, you could throw me under the bus, but I'm good with it. Go ahead.
So right now you kind of have a, it's very dark green and dark blue. And for that, for me, that means that right now you're kind of in your analytical brain, especially the green. It's closer to your hands and like your shoulders. And then the blue is kind of around your head like a halo. And that to me just means that you are pretty grounded in what we're doing right now. You do have a few, like they're little starbursts. Yeah, you do hear your guides and they do want to work with you. So these little starbursts are, I don't want to say that they're like star beings, but it's similar to that kind of energy.
Mm.
And then Laurie's, yours is like this, it's very almost kind of, it's got a lot of movement. And today and right now anyway, you are, you're connected to like a higher source at the moment, because you have like this white kind of, but you have this like really light kind of baby blue, and it's not even a halo, it kind of comes off your shoulders.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
For me, the white means that you're absolutely connected to whatever you are reading from or getting the vibe from. The blue means that that relationship is like something you work with often, because it's a part of your energy. And oftentimes when I do see that, when I do read for you, that color is often almost always there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, very cool.
So you do this to heal people, but it sounds like also you're helping them make decisions. What other scenarios does this really benefit? Because I see lots of opportunities here.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's helping them make decisions, more of understanding themselves. Like they're all having these thoughts on their own. They just need somebody else to confirm it for them or say it to them. And I think that that's kind of where that conversation comes into. It's like, I'm feeling you feel that. And so that's validation.
Okay.
In terms of providing guidance, it's honestly up to them. I give them the information. Most of the time, if they ask a direct question for guidance, it's their guide coming through. And I have them tell me something from before this meeting, like, you've had signs, they've given you this sign, they've confirmed it this way, like you've asked before if that's the direction you're supposed to take, and they're telling me right now that you're missing the message. And so it's more like you need to ground yourself into that answer.
Funny how often lots of us miss the message.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I miss the message 89% of the time.
My guides always laugh at me and just say, okay, we've told you this 6 times, but we know you need to hear it from a human being. So go ask Amber, go ask Kendara, go ask whoever. It's like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It ends up being exactly the same message, like you were
It is.
saying.
Yeah.
We just need a 3D person to say it back to us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And they understand that. The guides don't get, they just laugh
Oh,
at me.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they totally understand.
they do.
So do you do this, what percentage of your time do you do this? And how could a person reach you if they wanted to give this a try? I know I would like to know more about the sound bath.
Yeah, so I do one-on-one readings anytime. My schedule is on my website. It's embersandamber.com. So EMBERSANDAMBER@gmail.com is my email. And yeah, I mean, you can email me or you can check out the website and book through there. Also, I have both the bed sessions and the readings on there. But generally speaking, I travel with some of the fairs locally here in Denver.
Mhm.
And then I am also always involved with Awkwardly Zen and doing their fairs and online readings for them as well. So you can find me at awkwardlyzen.com as well.
I know there's a fair coming up in Arvada soon. I think you'll be there as well. Is that true?
Well, I was at their last one. This time I'll be in California for my muggle job, so I will miss that. But
Okay.
I do
But you'll
recommend
be
everybody
the 11/11 fair at the Althea Center in November.
I will, yes.
Okay. And you do this virtually as well as locally?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And so people all over the country could access your gifts.
Yes, yeah. Be happy to meet with anyone.
And I highly recommend her, actually. Yes. She is dead on accurate. So be prepared. If you don't really want to know, don't contact Amber.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like, I will just give it to you straight. And sometimes I will apologize ahead of time. I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings. This is what they're saying. So it's a blessing, honestly. I've never had a bad reading. I really enjoy connecting with people like that.
Wow. Well, thank God that this is available to us because I know that it's helpful to me and I'm sure everybody else that's been through this process feels that way. Is there anything that we didn't get to ask you that you wish we would have?
Oh, gosh. Not really.
Okay. So
No.
we have a pretty good picture of Amber. And one more time, if you'd like to give your contact information and then we'll close out.
Sure. My personal website is embersandamber.com. And then you can also find me at awkwardlyzen.com. And then if you want to email me, it's embersandamber@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Laurie, anything from you before we close out?
I don't think so. Thank you so much, though, for being with us. This was exciting. Been looking
Yeah.
forward to this for weeks.
Thanks for having me.
It is exciting and I'm looking forward to next time I get to meet with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should have you come back on at some point and just do a reading with one of
Sure.
us.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Oh, that would be good. That would be fun. Okay, well, thank you for your time and your attention, Amber, and helping us understand more about you and your gifts. And everyone who's watching, thank you for your time and attention as well. If you'd like to share this with a friend, find someone that this would help, we would love it if you would do that. And if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you'd like to leave a comment, boy, would we love that. And we'd love to find out what topics you might like to hear in future episodes. And if you like, you can always get a hold of us at ourspiritualsojourn@gmail.com. And with that, thanks everyone. Thanks, Amber. And we'll see you next time.
Well, that was fun.